Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to work on the tropics during the first part and then work on the local weather for the second part because the local weather actually is relatively uneventful. We've got some minor systems to work through today and tomorrow. And we are also going to take a look at the tropical depression that is offshore. And we just want to emphasize that there's no real material impact from that system, whether it develops or not. Worst comes to worst, it may kick up some waves in the ocean at the shore over the next few days as it moves away to the northeast, and that's it. So for us, it's about a cold front coming in, a dry, warm air mass to finish off the week, and then the Labor Day holiday weekend, which Saturday looks good. There are some question marks for Sunday and for Monday. So let's get started with Tropical Storm Dorian. And here's Dorian on the satellite loop this morning. It's held its own. It's a very small storm. The gales only go out about 40 or 50 miles from the center to the north, and even less as you go into some of the other quadrants. We're going to see that storm now going into the Eastern Caribbean, and this is where the critical questions start to rise up as to what is going to happen. Is it going to encounter any kind of wind shear? And right now, if you look at the loop, we're really not seeing too much hostility in the upper air winds. So we don't see any strong southwest winds coming in off of South America. We still have the same issue with regards to a ton of dry air that surrounds the storm, and that has actually kept this from becoming a hurricane. But again, it has held its own, and it will probably continue to do so as it moves on to the northwest. Now, here's the Hurricane Center's forecast. We've got warnings up for many of the Windward and Southern Leeward Islands this morning. We have tropical storm warnings up now for Puerto Rico, and we have watches up for the Dominican Republic. Now, if this being that the storm is small, the center has to pass pretty close to any particular land point in order for you to wind up seeing anything out of this. After that, it's going to find its way north of the Dominican Republic and head northwest or west-northwest from there. And that puts us in the time frame for the possibility of Dorian approaching the southeast coast of Florida at some point over the weekend. But I'm not 100% sold yet on what exactly we're going to have left by the time we get to this weekend. The mountainous terrains of the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, plus there are going to be some wind shear issues in the Northeast Caribbean at some point, leads us to question what kind of a system are we going to be dealing with here? Is it going to get ripped apart to a large extent by those factors? And we'll be watching to see what happens the next 2 days, because that ultimately will tell the tale of what we're going to have to deal with as it goes northwestward from there. The model forecast tracks are all very uniform, relatively tightly clustered. There's not a whole lot of variation here. Bringing it northwestward, then turning it back west-northwestward through the Bahamas and toward Florida for this coming weekend. And here's the upper air, just to show you the upper air winds. To simplify, this is just a reflection of the increasing winds with height or wind shear. And we do have it present in the northwest, in the Northeast Caribbean. The L in the lower right is Dorian, and the GFS at least wants to have impact on it where you can barely find it, but then it just reemerges north of the Dominican Republic and then tracks on to the northwest. The GFS model has been consistent in showing the impact of strong upper air winds and taking the system apart to a certain extent, but it has been with every run showing more and more of it survive. So we'll leave it at that. Meanwhile, we've got Tropical Depression 6 off the North Carolina coast. You can see the latest surface map plot, very broad low. It's not really all that impressive. We don't see any impact here. It will be kicked out to the northeast in time. And this is the Hurricane Center's forecast map with the depression. So it passes well out to the east, right to about 70 west, and then northeast from there. Here's the look on the visible this morning. And you actually can see the low-level center is right on the edge of the convection, which is mostly to the east and south of the circulation center. So if it gets a little more tucked in, you could wind up seeing this upgraded to a tropical storm. But I'm just not impressed by all of this with respect to this depression. All right, let's just really quick run back to what we can expect here. Today, it's arriving clouds. We have pretty much a setup with a warm front approaching and then a cold front that's going to be moving on through. That's how it sets up for the rest of today, tonight, and tomorrow. There are a few showers scattered around in parts of Pennsylvania. Most of those showers will dry up as they move eastward. Wednesday, we've got a cold front, so it looks like there could be a shower or thunderstorm late in the day into the evening. It is not the most impressive front in the world, and I'm not anticipating severe weather. It kicks Tropical Depression 6 out to the northeast. Thursday and Friday from northeast Virginia to southern New England will be seasonably warm and dry with relatively reasonable humidity and temperatures into the low and mid 80s with some sunshine. Saturday, got another cold front comes through Friday night. Really doesn't do very much. We start the Labor Day weekend off with a big high building in, so Saturday looks nice and sunny with low humidity. If you look down toward Florida on the map, you can see how the model handles Dorian as it approaches the Florida East Coast. And then as far as Sunday and Monday are concerned, some questions about whether a little upper air disturbance might bring in some showers here, maybe Sunday night into early Monday morning. And we're going to deal with that specifically in our forecast outlook for later today. So that wraps it up for Weather in 5. We'll have more on Tropical Storm Dorian and Tropical Depression 6 as we go through the day. And of course, we have our regular YouTube live stream tonight at roughly 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Have a great day, everybody.